What's up? How's everyone doing? Today is Monday, March 8th, 2021. I love Mondays. I know some folks are like, God, I hate Mondays. Well, you know what Monday means? It means you're awake. It means you're alive. It means that you have a whole new week of opportunity. If you can't respect and love Mondays, why the hell are you in the market, right? We all wait for Mondays. We have 8 great stocks for you. These are great beginner stocks. We have a follow-up about 7 or 8 good stock. I think 6 actually. 6 good stocks you could also play for intermediate players. This channel, Fifth Third Trading by me, Evan, is dedicated to beginners. The whole idea is education. Many folks on YouTube do one of two things in the stock market area. The first one they do is educational. They try and tell you about overall strategies like wheel trading or option calls and puts. Maybe they talk about swing day scalping, right? Or you have these people who do watch lists and give you real tangible targets like I'm watching these 5 or 6 stocks and that's it. I bridge the gap. What I talk about are tangible watch list items, stocks that you can play today, tomorrow, the next day, or in a week or a month, while also educationally explaining why they're a good swing trade. So if you're a beginner, welcome. You'll learn technical analysis. You'll learn everything about these stocks in and out, minus the fundamentals. I assure you that you must do that part. I'm not going to do all the studying for you. I'm here technically speaking. I'll show you the technicals. You must do the due diligence. Intermediate traders, if you're also new here, welcome. What's up, baby? What you're going to see on here are stocks that I call will become blue chips, or even better, strong mid-cap stocks. We like to be in the Russell 2000. Those are more violent, more volatile, more money made. I like the Russell a lot more. What these stocks are going to do for you is diversify. If you bought 15 stocks and they're all in the tech sector, congratulations, you bought a tech ETF and they probably all crashed on you, didn't they? If you're also a guy or a girl who plays CCIV, Sundial, all those big caps, those little Facebook and meme stocks, and you buy all 3 of them and all your money's gone and no diversification, I bet that hurt too. I'm here to show you how to buy 7, 8, 10, 15 stocks in different sectors that are strong and they're all looking really, really good. The reason I bring this up, this is one thing I should mention really quick. Just by looking at this screen, we can see that tech is getting destroyed across the board, but we can see that our consumer defensive markets, things you can't live without, your healthcare, which you can't live without, and your financials are doing just fine. So what I'm stressing to you is that some days, some sectors are going to do great, others will be doing bad, and some folks have been stressing the idea that we're going through a sector cycle, which is kind of true, and now we're kind of downtrending. We're getting some more things like financials, healthcare, and consumer defensive, things you cannot live without. So you got to focus those kind of stocks as well. If you like this kind of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. It does mean a lot to me. It does help. It helps other people get this information. If you really enjoy the educational aspect of this, please share the video, like it, hit the bell, comment down below, be like, I'm here to help the algorithm, whatever it is. It helps other folks get to this and learn some more. If you really enjoy the content, if you really enjoy my dope-ass new haircut, if you really enjoy the allergy mark beneath my eye because I keep scratching at it because I have bad allergies in Georgia, I have a Discord chat. I'm not going to push it. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the kind of guy who's like, you must join. I'll be here. If you want to enjoy the YouTube experience, one-on-one, me and the computer screen, you in your bed eating Cheez-Its, whatever it is, I love that kind of relationship. What's up? If you want to do anything more in depth though, the Discord chat does have my live calls. Again, educational purposes only, not financial advice. Duh. I do give the detailed explanation of all the stocks I talk about to show you what I'm looking at. And I also do some other great things. I do a morning briefing newsletter. I also have a whole community of folks dedicated to helping you. So if it's something that you want to look into, dope. I can also offer you a 7-day free trial. No credit card information needed or anything. You just come on in. You can have the full experience. If you enjoy it, great. If not, great. I'm not here to make everyone happy. I'm just here to make quality product and services. With that being said, if you need anything else, please let me know. Comment down below or message me, whatever it may be. Discord's open. Video's ready to go. With that being said, let's get it. So as we can see, we have 8 stocks in our good old-fashioned poop list, everyone's favorite, and then we have about 6 great good-looking stocks for our intermediate players. Usually I have more stocks for that, but again, it's been a mixed bag today. I'm going to reel it in just a little bit and focus on more quality as much as I possibly can, like I always do. But again, the goal is always to have 1 or 2 picked, as your favorite ones, and you can go with those. And again, I don't say buy all these. That's stupid. It's a watch listing show. Before we really get into it, and again, I'm going to say most is for my premium folks, and you can always watch someone more qualified and macro level stuff than I am. I'm really good at it, but there's way better people, and I encourage you to find them. You can see this downtrend is still going, right? You can even put this downtrend here and be like, it's not even close to being over yet. So it's showing red. If we do go red tomorrow, okay, it may come back. So I'm not saying let's freak out and sell everything, but over this 2-day period, it was right here and it died. And over this 22-hour period, it died. So if we get a drop off past this wick here tomorrow, so we drop off like 0.5%, you may be inclined to go look at some bear ETFs that relate to the S&P 500. We're not out of the storm yet. I keep telling folks it's not over yet. Now, it's not a full-blown bull market or bear market, but you know, this lines up almost too well to not be a channel down still. So we don't make it out of here. All the stocks that I picked today, I would strongly suggest you wait on, especially if we drop off. And then we blast through this bad boy and say, F you, piece of shit, and blow off. Yeah, dude, go crazy, whatever. And also, it's important to look at the day chart and turn on your email lines that you like. You can see then, too, we're still above the 50 now. Can we regain the 50? What happens? It breaks the 50 to come back. It breaks the 50 to come back. So am I really stressing right here? A little. I want to see if we can break above this and we can have some life. We're looking pretty. And when it comes to the QEQQ, okay, it died today. And that's the opposite of what happened to the S&P. What's that mean? You should be a little bit confused and a little bit more due diligent researching, and make sure you do your stocks, because if you buy one that's on the NASDAQ, it's in a much different predicament than those in the S&P. The S&P actually has some signs of life. It is coming back down, and again, they kind of do match up, but if this does break beneath this support area by the day's end and the S&P is still up there, we may have some conflicting markets soon. That's going to make some choppy waters. So be very careful. If you want to buy a NASDAQ stock, I'd probably wait for it to get down a little bit lower. But again, with that being said, all I want to show you is that this is not over yet. We're still not in a bear market, but we're also not in a bull market. We are consolidating, having a pullback. It's perfectly healthy. Any short-term stocks, you may want to consider your position in them, and then maybe cut them or expand on them if they're a good deal. But again, beware. With that being said, let's check out the stonks for the day. Our first is CANF. Now, this is a confusing looking chart just because of this gigantic wick here. What you're going to want to do is click and pull by a tiny bit and come down. You can draw an actual box in. See, I can do that. If I just do this, I can't do it. Right. So you got to tap here, pull down a tiny bit, and you're Gucci. So if you do that, we can look at it real quick. So it looks like it's a great value. And again, you may be thinking this is pretty hard to read. Yeah, it is, right? And I should probably turn this off, shouldn't I? Idiot. So we can see it's definitely hard to read, and you may be down here for a while, but if we can get in around 173, 176, anywhere down here, that's going to be the winning formula. So we want to get down beneath this dotted line. As of right now, we're above it, so I would definitely give it a day or two. Considering how steep this sell-off is, we can see how harsh the sell-off has been. Until we get above that, I'm not going to really be inclined to wait for a crossover or anything. I'm more inclined to wait for value. And so I'm waiting for it to get down here. If we can get to 175, you should go in, because then your risk is going to be at most 5%, maybe 6% in a horrible day if it does collapse, but you have plenty of upward mobility. It spikes massively, so that's a really good sign. 10-year chart, you can see it has been higher, and it's plummeted off. So it's not exactly a great sign, but at the same time, how much lower can it possibly get? So I would definitely give it some thought, wait for it, more of a moderate intermediate kind of play, but it's a great pickup nonetheless. Let's check the indicators. So what's cool about this channel is I actually look at the indicators until I'm with you guys. I don't look for RSI scans or crossovers in the vortex or anything. I do it all based off of price action. Try not to yawn there, held it down. So all this is going to be new to me. You'll see what I see in real time. You can wait for a crossover. You get these big spikes when it gets above the 50, as you can see, but it's so far away. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely, 12% away. So would you want to wait for that? You can, but that's more risk you're taking on. So I wouldn't really put it into consideration now. I'm looking for value. RSI could be a dash lower, but it is super low and does reverse down here, so that's a great sign. The stochastic is fair at best and pulling back, so I'd expect to pull back to where I called around the 170s. That would be ideal. Vortex is low, but it's not very volatile, and it is pointing north, so maybe go ahead and show some life. But again, while we're down here, you can see the vortex on average are down here for maybe 7 days. This one was longer. 14 days. Down here, we're down there for 7 days. So it takes some time, and we've been down here for almost 13. So it's due for reversal soon. But again, the vortex is not that telling what's going on. So good play. It just needs to get some value. And if we do drop off of a cliff, like if the S&P does hit that wall and comes back down in a week or so, when it gets done dropping, this would be a perfect setup. Next is CREE, C-R-E-E. This is a weak trend line. Pardon me. I'm not sold on it, obviously. And you could definitely come down here and be like, well, actually, it's closer to this. So I'm not sold on it. Right? I haven't had 3 hits yet. You could definitely come through here and find some trend lines that this one was definitely relevant for a while, but now we're beneath it. So I'm not putting too much weight into this. But what I am putting weight in is this support area. It's a very, very, very strong support area. Right? Maybe you may see some lows of 90, but right here, man, once, well, you got, once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6. It's really showing some strength here. And you have great upward movement. Even 10% would be a modest move here. It would not be bad at all. And what's your risk, right? You want to risk the trend line plus the support. Oh, God, I broke 3%. All right, you put 5 to 10% into one stock. You lose 3% of that. You're not stressing at all. And that's kind of the whole point of this. So it's really good risk versus reward. It has really good highs up here. You can't really logically line up many downtrends here that would line up super well. I guess you could do that, but that's definitely, even then, you're at the bottom and you have plenty of room to run up. So I'm definitely not stressed about this. Great pick, really good value. I like it a lot. Strong support, weak trend line, but it's there. Let's check the indicators. So you would hope that it would have held the 200. That would have been ideal. And it does change. It will change how this should be played out. Should you wait for it to cross back over? I wouldn't. Damn. It's far away, and the 50 is pretty far away, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Even on a good move of 10%, it wouldn't even get in the way yet. RSI was oversold and popped up, and it's getting back down there again. Stochastics pointing down and coming back down to earth a little bit. It may reverse, in a few clicky clicks away, and the vortex is dummy a little bit also pointing down. Until we see the stochastic point north, the vortex point north, or we see some life here, or a really good value, you want to give it a day or two. So I'd give it a day. Give it a day or two, see how the S&P does and how the NASDAQ does. But if those do break through, this would be a great one to turn up and come with. So CRE, a good setup, just give it a day or two. Next is ENTG. What a gorgeous channel. This reminds me of BLD. Gorgeous. Reminds me of EDU. Gorgeous. It also reminds me of Docu before it died. Gorgeous. So it's right there, right? I love these stocks a lot. It's right at support. I had a nice conversation today. It was lovely with one of my VIPs about how old resistances become new supports on these kind of channels. We can see that this old resistance became a support, and now this old resistance is now being a support as well, right? It had a lot of price action stop here. Boop, boop, boop. It's super strong. Worst case, Ontario. You're going to lose 2%. You cut it, buy back in when it shows some life. It does have some bull features. See how it bulls? Bull, handle, bull, handle. All right, we're making ourselves a little cuppy here. If it can kind of take its time, maybe do one of these bad boys and do that, that would be ideal. So we have some time down. Here's what I'm saying. It consolidates, 8 days. We've been out here for 4. So you have some time to think about it, I think. If you do see some really good green, like over here, green, yeah, you want to jump in on it. Now, you have plenty of movement. Your first resistance is really 7% away. There's one here, but it's weak. 7% away in this area. Easily you can see a full move of 17%, and you're risking 2.5. That's a great risk reward right there. Super easy read. Here's earnings all the way over there. Go to hell, earnings. We're good. We survived it. We're looking good. So a great setup. Let's check the indicators. Even better. Even better. Now it doesn't break the 200 often, and when it does, it took no time to get back over it. That should be a bit concerning if you want to buy in early. I would definitely. Why? Oh. Tired. I would definitely wait for it to get above the 200 to really go all in. You want to put half your investment in now. Like I'd put 5% of my account in this probably. I would put 2.5% in now if it showed a little bit of life. And then I put the other 2.5 in when it gets above the 200. And that's a great entry point. RSI is low. It could be a dashy dash lower, but it was super low recently, so that's a good sign. Our stochastic is still pointing south. It's curling down. You can see that not many of these moves are going to be like, the stochastic doesn't do this, or it doesn't do this, right? It doesn't do any of these kind of like small moves. It's going to make nice, clean moves like this. So I'm not fully certain yet that it's actually out of the woods. The vortex, again, is low and going south. You know, give it a day. Give it 2 days. If this breaks, just don't touch it until it comes back. But this is a great setup. If we see some green tomorrow, this thing can make some huge moves. I like it a lot. GLPI is actually a gaming and leisure ETF. All your stocks that are kind of associated with this will do good. And actually, I don't know if it's an ETF or not, but definitely know it reflects all gaming stocks, and it's a company that owns a bunch of them. So if this drops in this channel, which it does, it's a great value. Super good trend line up, super good support area. It could be a little bit lower. Okay, maybe down here. It may be down here, right? There's plenty of supports, but this is definitely one that was a resistance. Now it's going to be acting pretty well here. If it does break down, you know, maybe you'll see, you know, 41.30, no big deal. But it's obviously in an uptrend. Now, it didn't make a full move to make it a channel, so I guess we're probably going to have some wedging. Look at that. Perfect. We're definitely having some wedging happening, so you should definitely mitigate your reward and be like, all right, maybe I'll see a full move up here. I doubt it. A full move would get you about 9% at this point. So you may want to take profits around 44.50. You know, it gets to about here. You know, you want to take your profits and call it a day because it is turning into a wedge, and wedges do not last forever. But gaming and leisure is always a great pickup. It's a great stock. The earnings were a while ago. It's dropped down because of it. It ran up, dropped down. Great area of value. Looking really good. Let's check the schmindicators. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Just like ENTG, bouncing right off the 200. That's a great sign. It breaks it, though. See how it goes beneath it, beneath it, beneath it, beneath it. So you should expect it to drop farther. You should. You should expect it to go a little bit farther, unless it wicks back like this. But we should expect it to maybe take a day or two, and that's totally fine, but it's a great value right here. It is at a good RSI. It could be a dash lower, but it's exactly where you want it. Stochastic is low. It is pointing down. It's pointing south, right? So you want to wait for it to kind of curl up and show life. Vortex is much of the same. Very great value, but you want to wait for it to kind of show some life. Just like with most of these turnarounds, see how it evened out, horizontal out. See how over here, even on the red, it evened out and came back. Over here, it evened out. You're going to want to wait for it to kind of curtail off, and then you could buy in. But GLPI is a great setup. Is it possible that OSUR is the new CRK? You remember this one from when I first started? Wow, good job. When I first started, love it. You guys remember CGen? That was cool. Remember over here? It looks good over here. But all we were playing was this over here, was going back and forth, back and forth. Is OSUR the new CRK? It very well could be. It has the exact same setup. It even has a very similar downtrending descension like CRK. And it's at a gosh diggy darn good value. The only issue is that there is earnings, so we have to wait for it to really show some life. If we go on out to the 10-year, we can see it's had lower lows. So we're not going to be like, it won't get much lower than this. Hell yeah, it can get lower. It can even tap down to 959, even 930. And then arguably if a Dow cracks, we're going to come see the 820s. So it definitely looks good here, though. It's super low risk. Worst case, Ontario. It all breaks. You'll lose 3%. God forbid. What are you going to do? Just kidding. But it looks really good here. A bad move is to 8%. That's a bad move. It's okay. A good one will net you about 17. A full one to a good one, 35%, even higher. So we're risking it almost nothing, 4 or 5% to be confident to make 20 or 30 in a full move, baby. It's a good pickup. I like it a lot. OSUR. I'm not sour about that. Let's check the indicators. So it is oversold, and it's below 30 right now. That's a great deal. We come back and see. Would have made some shmoney. Shmoney. Yeah, it's a little convoluted, but you would have eventually. Yeah, a little bit. So 4 for 5 on that. Stochastic is low. Could be a dishity dash lower. And our vortex, again, is still pointing south. Could be a little bit lower. Wait for those to kind of curtail off or to curl north. That's going to be your sign. Especially in this market, you need some sign of life, some form of confirmation of a reversal. And it does consolidate, so you have a few days to think about it. But OSUR is a great pickup. So next is SILJ, SILJ. This is an ETF. So this does not even have price targets. It's just a really good setup for an ETF. And again, if you don't like to buy ETFs, it's based off of silver miners. It's very well connected to the silver industry, which is being its ass kicked recently. Hence this. This big spike is from when Wall Street Bets talked about silver. So it is very directive of that. So if you believe in the silver market and the metals market, this is a great one. It's coming back down. Now it's showing some life, but I'm not too high on that. You can see this downtrend is definitely getting somewhat broken, but it's still very much downtrending. If we can get in again at like $13.99 or $14, even low as $13.72, it's a great pickup. So I mean, you could easily see a full 10, 15, 20% move. Even here we're risking 6%, and you could easily make 12 or 13. So still a 2-to-1. I like better ratios than that for my risk versus reward. But this is a really good looking horizontal channel. This trend line's weak. Okay, it's okay. It's had a higher lows very, very well. But it's also, not perfect. You have plenty of lower lows in here. And what dictates that, right? If we were to come down here and break all this, is it still a higher low? If we watch this for a little bit longer and it develops, you never know. So I think it's a really good looking stock, though, really good setup. It's based off silver, which is against ass kicked. It can't get kicked down there forever. It's looking pretty good. Let's check the indicators. So it doesn't really seem to follow the EMA lines too much. It bounced off the 200 a lot and the 50 a little bit, but it doesn't really seem to respect either one all that much. So I wouldn't be too concerned about them being resistances moving forward. They will be, but won't be as strong as a normal stock probably. It was just oversold at 30-ish, and now it's popping up, showing some life. But again, it's a great RSI read. The stochastic's exhausted, probably from that huge push last week. Yeah, it went, and now it's tired. So if it does pull back, I will not be surprised. Let the stochastic come down lower. Vortex, again, it's consolidating and trying to show some life. So would I be shocked if over the next day or two the stochastic dips down and then reverses? No, not really. So I think it has plenty of great movement, great price action. Again, I would personally wait for a better deal, but SILJ should be in your watch list moving forward. It's a good pickup. SPT is one of my best calls of the year. I called it right over here. I called it multiple times, and over here I called it again, and it ran up like 78%. Again, did I plan that? Nope. There's nothing in me going, this bad boy is gonna rip. All I knew was that this was a really pretty upward channel. It's a really pretty channel before. And then I was like, oh, here it goes, boys. And it took off, and it just never came back down. And I was like, well, shit, okay. So we had earnings, and what happens at earnings? It ruins my life, and it has a nice downtrend. So we're still technically in this downtrend. Don't get that twisted. We're still downtrending. But, it's such an egregiously steep hill that's like, will this last forever? No, it won't last forever. And you can see this lines up fairly well. So, I mean, is it still at the bottom of the downtrend? It is. So we have plenty of room to move up. But you are technically still downtrending for sure. And you're at, a support area right here. Plenty of action, stops and started right in this area. Plenty of times. And you have a trend line. Worst case, all this breaks. Oh no, you lost, 4%. But you can easily make, even within its own channel, 4%. So it's going to be a good move. First resistance is 10% away, and then you're off to the races. So you can easily take money at the 10% and let the rest of it ride and do its thing. It's definitely a great uptrending stock. It's a super strong uptrend, right? Now, I would argue you may want to mitigate your, change it a little bit. That's probably a better one. So you may be seeing it come a little bit lower. It just comes down to your preference. But this is definitely a good pickup. I like the value a lot. SPT is a great look. Let's check the schmindicators. So it is a tad bit concerning, and you should always be honest with yourself, that I broke the 200. Is it a fair assessment to wait for a cross back over? Sure. If you are not a fan of price action, but you really like EMA trading, wait for a crossover. The 10 just crossed beneath the 50. The 200, the 50 is now above everything. You're supposed to have the 200, 50, 10. That's kind of what you want to trade off of. When those get kind of mixed together, you get some confusing setups. So if you like crossovers, I would definitely wait just a little bit for it to cross back over. RSI is oversold. Stochastic's coming back down. It's pulling down. We want to see a turnaround. The vortex has never been lower. We need to see it turn green. So again, I would definitely wait for some form of confirmation, a green candle, bullish engulfing, three soldiers, a doji, something. If you like to do crossovers, wait for that. If you like value, wait for just one green one. So again, a great setup. We just got to give it a day or two, see where the S&P is going, where's the NASDAQ going, what's the Dow doing, what's Russell 2000 going to do, and that's going to give us our gravitational pulls up or down, and we'll go from there. But SPT is a good setup. Next is VRT, our last good one. It's actually funny because I had a VIP meeting today. Lovely conversation. We found this one together looking at stocks. Now, this is a really good channel up. You could easily argue, as she has the issue with, you can easily argue what trend line is best, and I think this one is the best, so I'm going to go with it. You could easily come down here, right? You can be like, well, it was this, and that broke. Sure, so it's no longer relevant. You can come over here and see, well, I think the best one's like this, and it still has some room to drop. Sure. All are great. All are great. This is what I see. This is what I'm going with. I could easily, though, see this one being a very viable choice as well right here. And even again, what that does, it matches up just perfectly. So you're usually pretty close regardless. It has had earnings. It was like, oh, shit, we're rich. Fake. And it came back down. So is it still off earnings? I think so. I would definitely give it some time to really show us what it wants to do. But this is a beautiful support, a beautiful trend line. Worst case, you want to be confident, you lose 4%, right? This holds beneath this candle. You lost 4%. God forbid. But you could easily make in one easy move, 4% before your first even light resistance. Your first resistance would be right here. 5.5. A good move to the top is 10% to your first resistance. That's really strong. Great setup, right? And this keeps going, and this is the trajectory of the stock, and it goes for another few weeks or months. You'll be on this ride making plenty of money. So VRT, Vertiv Holdings, sick household name, baby. Like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. Beautiful. So it broke beneath the 200. It does that. So let's not freak out. Would you want to wait for it to get back over it? Sure. You want to wait for it to get above that and the 50? Sure. If that's your play. You'll be able to see this. Fake. Made it. What's this right here? Right here. Ooh, what's this? Retest. Ooh, you see that? You got to wait for a retest, big fella. Let's come over here. What happened over here? Broke above both? Retest. So if you do buy in now and it breaks above both of them, or you wait for a crossover, just the 200 or the 50, it is likely to retest the 50. If that breaks, you get rid of it. It could be a tad bit lower, better of a deal on the RSI, but it's still a great deal. On uptrends, you're not really going to get RSI oversold, right? That doesn't make any sense to be like, it's uptrending, but oversold, right? That's a rarity, and that's okay. Stochastic, again, could be lower, but showing some life. We want to see some life because if we lose life here, we lose the price action, we lose the price structure. That's gone. We don't buy in. And you see Vortex is also coming down, which leads me to believe there's probably some form of, there's no divergence quite yet. There may be one soon. Vortex could be a dash lower. So again, I think it may dip a little bit longer and then may reversible, but VRT is a great setup. So if you're a beginner, those are going to be the 8 plays you want to watch. And again, I'm not advocating financial advice or saying go buy all 8 of them. That would be stupid and a dumb behavior by you. What I'm saying is that these are 8 ones you could actively watch tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and have some possible really good returns, or at least learn something very well from these. The next 6 I'm going to talk about, if you're a beginner, turn your brain off of buying mode and turn your brain on to learning mode. You must really focus these next 6 and look at them educationally, what I'm showing you. Intermediate traders who've been doing this for a while, I trust you to make the right decision and buy the first 8 as you see fit and the next 6 as you see fit. If you're a beginner, don't touch the next 6. They're probably more profitable, but you'll also get burned more often than not. So let's check them out. So if you're new here, new kid, welcome to the school, bucko. We can see that I keep the indicators on while I do this class and do this part just because it goes quicker and I don't want to waste too much time on folks I trust can make the right decision. First is AMD. This is a beginner stock. Let's be real. And this is popular for one reason only, comeback king pattern. A lot of folks call it that, right? You go oversold to overbought. Oversold to overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. Is it a good, do you buy anything off the RSI alone? No, you'd be what I call stupid. And you have glass brain. So I'd have definitely smooth brain. I'd definitely avoid you buying off the RSI alone, but that's the main draw of AMD. And we're at a support area. We are. So that's a good sign. It consolidates down here. It's 14 days. Shit. 7 days. And we are in day mother truckin' 4. So you got some time to think about it, but this is a really good deal in AMD. You could easily see a nice push up, 20%, you know, probably closer to 10 would be realistic over here. You can maybe push up this POC, make 10%, right? And as I always tell people, 8 trades of 10% reinvested is a 100% move. If I take $1,000 and do 8 trades of 10% with $1,000 reinvested, I made $2,000. What would you rather go for? Would you rather go for that over some time and go for 10% consistently, or try and be, I'm going to wait until it gets up to here and do that 4 times? No, dumb, right? I'm not saying you're dumb, but the behavior is catastrophically negligent. You'll hurt yourself. Stochastics coming down. Vortex, again, is starting to kind of taper back down. So, again, give it a day or two. But AMD, a good beginner stock. But, again, let's clarify. It's a good deal, but it's not like, you know, oh, the RSI is the only thing. That's not how this works. BILL is a bit of a more complicated read. We can see that we have a trend line possibly developing lower, and that's not there. We had a gorgeous channel that broke, and when strong resistances break, we reset trend lines. I'm keeping it for now because I think we may have a retest of it. So we can see perfectly lined up. Boop, 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 boop. Plenty of price action bouncing off of it, and here we are at a previous resistance support line near the 200. I would definitely wait for it to get above the 200. This thing is violent. You will lose money quickly and make money quicker. So you gotta wait for it to get above the 200. If that happens, you can easily see 5, 10, 15%. And then if it gets above the 50, all bets are off. I would definitely go long and call it at that point. We are oversold. We're having a pullback, this, you know, pulling back, and we're getting low. This will be a good buy eventually. So if you are a intermediate, make the right decision by your own basis. But eventually this does cross above those two. Woo! Gonna be a good day for all of us. I've called CTLT. That's why I'm only putting it as intermediate. It's still a great purchase. All right, we called it over here. It's been taking its sweet old candy dandy time, and we're still down here again. So RSI is oversold. Stochastics coming back. It had a huge run up. It's pulling back. Vortex is dummy low. So again, beautiful uptrend. I just talked about before why spend more time. But CTLT is a great technical setup. I don't know what they do fundamentally yet. You got to do it yourself. But technicals, it looks really good. I've called EDU multiple times. This price action is really confusing with the drawings on. But even a doofus can see what's the most important line. I want you to take some jeopardy on. What's the most important line on this whole entire page right here? 3, 2, 1. The 200 EMA. All right. So we can see it's bouncing off that again. And again, we called it over here. It made a nice run up. It actually hit our price target barely. So that was a good call by me. Some real gangster shit right there. But, and hit that. So that's what we're looking at. We're at a really good value at the 200. Vortex, again, is low. Could be lower. The stochastic's pulling back, and the RSI is fair. So I think it may take a day or two. It likes to break it to come back. You know, it consolidates in the line. It consolidates in the line. It consolidates on this line. And what's it doing? It's consolidating. So it's not getting freaked out, but we can easily see 5, 10, 15, maybe even 16% on a full move. It's a really good pickup, a super easy read. Your stop loss is here because it's already been called for our premium members. If it drops down here, oh, God forbid, a lot of 3%. Oh, and you could definitely hold this over time. So, I mean, it's really a 10 out of 10 setup. I called it before, so I call it again. It's a great pickup. FLNT last week, we had a bad looking week for some folks, but that bad boy be printing, big fella. That and IRWD went stupid, and now we're back here again. And again and again and again. It consolidates on these lines, okay? So let's not get ahead of ourselves. The stochastic's high. It's coming down. Vortex is curling north. RSI is down. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, right? And we can see it hit this resistance and died, but the support is holding. It's a great area to buy into. If it takes off again, I'll be buying it again probably. Looks really good. Easy read. Again, let's take this line, duplicate it, and see if it's a channel. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, ooh, hold on now. Oh, it's close. So we can even take this real quick. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. That's close. Not really. Okay, I thought I was more excited. Do that. Oh, God. Can I angle it, my boy? Look at that. It is a broadening wedge. Oh, so it's not going to last forever. But this is definitely a good setup right here. I like it a lot. My ramblings aside. And last is QTT. I'm not in love with it. I'm not in love with it. This is not Pretty Woman. I'm not in love with it. I'm not paying it. Yeah, that's a sick joke. We can see that the earnings just beat the shit out of it, right? And what's it do after earnings? Man, it was on a downtrend for 10 days. What do I do over here? Oh, man, it was on a downtrend for 13 days. What do I do over here? Oh, it's on downtrend for 5 days. Are we out of the woods? Hell no, we're not out of the woods. So let it take its time. QTT, the one thing it does, when it shows its hand is its reversal type. Take off the dumb indicators real quick. What's the reversal types look like? They're slow and they're like a bull, big fella. Look at this. Bowling off. Up. Bowling. Up. Making a little bit of a bowl. Up. Look at this. A nice little bowl shape. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. We want to see, when it's a nice, like an airplane landing. Like crashing, the wheels hitting and going like that. That's a really stupid sound effect. I don't know why I did that. I apologize. But we want to see it slowly come into the 2s and the 212s and then take off. So QTT has another week, another 2 weeks. It could crash all this and come down here and it's all for naught of reversing. So let's give it its time. This is a huge drop down. There's no shape here. All we have is a super strong support that has broken. So we're not going to get ahead of ourselves, but QTT is a great pickup for an intermediate player. And there you have it. Again, I must stress, and this is not from just me, but a lot of folks who do this and talk about this, a lot of the new people are going to be a little shooketh. We're a little scared. We'll be baby paper hands. Oh, God, we got to sell everything. We're in a very volatile and violent market. What you need to expect from now on is not 4 days of green and 1 day of red. You must expect this. And I'm going to say it slowly. Violent swings in either direction. Since last week and the week before, we've been seeing nothing but mega red days and mega green days. There's been some small melting up and melting down, but you must equip yourself with the knowledge of how the upper markets work. I don't mean like, blue chips and no. Watch the spider SPY and watch -ES. Watch QQQ and SQQ. Know how the NASDAQ works. OEX and NDX also work. Watch my keyboard and remember. Right, watch those. Watch the Dow a little bit and watch the Russell 2000. If you can get those to dip while your stock is dipping and they both hit a support at the same time, cha-ching, cha-ching, you're in the money. And again, that's going to be more of a complicated thing. But if there's a red day, what I can always stress to new people, if there's a red day, just don't buy, right? And I told a lot of my folks this. When I played basketball, I played D1 at Bowling Green. And again, I was on the bench. I didn't even play really at all. Sad. But you can play and practice without having a basketball. I can sit here and think and study. If you play guitar, I'm sure if you play guitar, you've done this before without a guitar and just done this, right? You can practice things without actually practicing. Work on your scanning, man. Find some good stocks, right? Scan. Work on that. Want to make a journal? Journal. Go back and backlog, right? You can do something productive when you're not even trading, right? You must think about this as a job. If I'm a teacher, which I am, do I have to get better teaching just to teach? No, I can lesson plan better. I can research better. I can study better. I can work on my technology, whatever it is. If you are not going to trade in a red market, you must work on something else instead. The goal is to be 1% better every single day. If you can get 1% better every single day over a year, you'll be 3 times as good as you are right now. And that's at a bare minimum, right? So I'll leave you with that. Please learn the indices, what they do. Learn how to study and get better than average after trading, and do not leave your comfort zone, right? I want you to be comfortable, be smart, be sophisticated, be the great people that you are. Winky wink. With that being said, happy Monday. I'm always happy to have a Monday. It means that we're alive and kicking and the sun's out and we were blessed to see another day. Shout out to Mondays. The markets are open. Love it. With that being said, have a good Monday. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another watch list. I appreciate it. See you later.